Were these demands or suggestions made by Lizzo, as you say, were they direct, where they said, I really want you to do it? Or was it more, I'm afraid if I don't, I might get fired?
Yeah, I think for both of us, there was like this always looming feeling of thinking that if you didn't do something or you didn't adhere to certain suggestions or demands, that your job could be in jeopardy. I mean, there have been specific instances, for example, whenever we were in contact with our agents and we were trying to negotiate receiving a retainer while we were working with the team, things kind of started being more tense in the work environment, more hostile. So right off the bat, we kind of already felt like the energy was shifting. And after negotiations for retainers began, we got an email before one of the shows, basically from somebody from her management team, saying that the way that we have been acting was unprofessional and the attitudes that we were exhibiting on the job was unacceptable, and that it could be grounds for termination. And that's just one specific instance that we went through in regards to working with the team.
There is so many instances where dancers who did, have fun with her and, go along with like what she was doing and, be down for anything, that they were favored, they were hired for more shows, they were invited on, like private jets and to do cool things and, could hang out with her in like tropical settings like Hawaii and stuff like that. Some of our coworkers, it's just like there was no line between professionalism and personal. And so we had in our minds that if we weren't, down for anything, that we would then be ostracized later. It was this unspoken thing in the camp that if you weren't super fun, like if you like skipped out on all of the like outings and all that stuff, that you wouldn't be seen in good favor from Lizzo, and that you would then not be considered like one of the people that is like cool and down for anything, and then therefore not be booked for as many jobs.
You mentioned that there was some kind of a dispute over a retainer. When you parted company with Lizzo, when both of you parted company with Lizzo, was it just kind of happened? Were you terminated? Did you quit? How did the separation go?
Yeah, for me, my situation was a little bit different than Ari's. There was a meeting that Lizzo had. It was all of our meetings were pretty intense, but this one was a more intense meeting with her, just emphasizing the fact that she wasn't pleased with our performing and that we still weren't dancing up to, her standards. And basically this was after the intense re-audition that we went through after, having hours of rehearsal, to which she then brought up the allegations of us drinking before shows. I raised my hand to speak. She allowed me to speak. And in that moment, I let her know that, we never partook in those activities and that we would never put ourselves, her, or the show or our jobs in jeopardy. And days later, one of her tour managers terminated me in a hotel lobby.
What goes into my termination is that I had felt for a really long time that they were questioning my abilities due to weight gain. It was never explicitly said, hey, you're gaining weight. Your job is in jeopardy. It was never that. It was very nuanced. It was very under the rug. And I think that language was used to keep from being canceled. Previously, she had said, she was worried about me at South by Southwest. And when I was at South by Southwest, that was the first time I had showed up to a Lizzo event or gig, noticeably having gained weight. There was nothing different about me. My performance skills were the same. My demeanor was the same. My energy was the same. The only thing that was different about me was my weight. And in this meeting, she stated as well that, dancers get fired for gaining weight. And then she kind of paused and looked at me, and I still don't know if she really meant to single me out in that moment. But when she looked at me and she said that, I was kind of like, so she's really concerned about my weight. And then, when we had that private meeting, when I was kind of cornered, I they kind of wouldn't let me, you know, get away with not telling them something personal. So, and a reason why something was wrong with me. So I ended up telling them of that I struggle with, you know, anxiety and depression, and that I'm in recovery from an eating disorder. And as soon as I said eating disorder, they immediately were like, oh, like in their head, it was making sense as to why I was gaining weight, because it had something to do with an eating disorder problem.